What first captured your historical imagination?
What's one book that changed your life?
What's a common misconception about your topic?
How do you deal with gaps in the sources?
Why does telling stories about the past matter?
So in archaeology, we very often work with just partial evidence. There's an awful lot of information that we haven't got. So if we're looking at a cemetery, for example, we might only have the very wealthy population, or we might be missing children, for example. So we also have to be really aware of that and try to think of who are we missing in this story. But then you can start to also ask the question, where are those people? Why are they not in the same place? And also, why are they missing in the first place? So having that knowledge, having that sort of lack of evidence pointed out to you is really, really important. And you also have to remember that absence of evidence doesn't mean evidence of absence. So if you take that into account, then you can get a much better sense of what history it is you're actually telling.
None of us has a monopoly on the truth. So the first thing for me is to admit that I do not have the complete story, and no one else does either. The closer you stick to the sources, the more you can say with certainty. The more you can freely acknowledge that some things are not said by the sources, but are probable or possible or could be imagined, the more rich a narrative can be. And to draw that balance is, for me, always, I go back to what Bailey told me, which is to acknowledge that fundamentally, the further back we go in the past, the more we are flying by the seat of our pants.
Studying the story of Emanuel Ringelblum today teaches us how difficult it is to write full story of the civilian experience of war. How many very diverse voices we have to take into account. How many people we have to give full platform to be able for them to speak about their experiences. And only by taking all experiences into account, we can truly give justice to the suffering.
I sometimes think of it as like an archaeologist that's piecing together an old mosaic, and you have the parts that you can identify, and then you have the gaps in the whole program. And I think the only way you can handle that is to be honest about what you have, where the gaps are, make educated guesses where you don't have the information, and go from there.